students, rings and field is a very important topic in third year BSc. This accounts for 100 marks in the final year exam. You have a separate paper for it. Uh, in this video, I will be showing you about what is the definition of a ring, types of ring, and solving some examples related to the rings. The fields topic will be uploaded in the next video. Rings and fields is a continuation topic of second year BSc's group theory. So if you have learned group theory, this rings and field would be a very easy chapter. So let us now learn about what is a ring. Let R be a non-empty set. They are considering R as a non-empty set with binary operation plus and dot. Here plus is an additive operation and dot is a multiplicative operation. Then they say R comma plus comma dot. This is the representation of a ring. They say this as a ring if it satisfies following conditions. Again repeating, let R be a non-empty set with binary operations plus and dot. Then there let's say R comma plus or dot, which is the representation of a ring, is said to be as a ring if it satisfies following conditions. So what are the conditions? The first condition is R comma plus is a additive abelian group. This is the first condition it should satisfy to be a ring. What is an abelian group? You have learnt in the group theory. There are 5 conditions for a group, for a set to be a abelian group. Let us see what are the conditions. A, closure law. For all A comma B belonging to the set R such that A plus B also belongs to R. If this condition satisfies, then it is a closure law. Second one is associative law. For all A comma B comma C belongings to R, A plus B plus C, here B plus C is inside the bracket, for adding A is equals to A plus B inside the bracket plus C, which all belongs to R. So if A plus A, B, C belongs to R such that A plus B plus C is equals to A plus B plus C, then it is associative law. Next, C is additive law, identities law. Sorry. For all A element belonging to R, there A plus 0 is equals to 0 plus A must be equals to A, because identity of addition is 0. 0 is the, if you add anything to 0, the number itself comes. So A plus 0 is must, or 0 plus A must be equal to A. Then it then that element is the identity element of the group set. Next, inverse law. For A belongings to R, the inverse of this element, that is A plus inverse of A in terms of addition is minus A. You get 0, the identity element. So if this satisfies, then it is inverse A minus A is the inverse of the element A. Next, the last law is the commutative law. That is for all A comma B belongings to R, A plus B is equals to B plus A. So if for all A and B belongings to set R, then A plus B is equals to B plus A. This satisfies commutative law. If all these five laws are satisfied, then R plus is an additive abelian group. Now we know that R plus is an additive abelian group. Next, we will learn about the second condition, that is R comma dot is a multiplicative semigroup. Here dot represents multiplication. So we have learned R plus R comma plus is an additive abelian group. Now we are proving R comma dot is a multiplicative semi-group. What is a semi-group? Semi-group, a set considers to be a semi-group if it follows the first two conditions, that is the closure law and the associative law. So in closure law, we are proving that for all A comma B belongings to R, A dot B also belongs to R. Again, for the associative law, for all A comma B comma C belongings to R, A dot of B dot C is equals to A dot B of dot C, which also belongs to R. If this two satisfies, then R comma dot is said to be a multiplicative semi-group. Now finally, the third and the most important condition is the distributive law. This is a pretty new concept you have not learned in the group theory. What is a distributive law? You have again two laws here. First one is the left law and the second one is the right law. What is a left law and what is a right law? Left law is A plus B. You are adding two elements and multiplying with the third element must be equal to the first element multiplied with the third element added with the second element multiplied with the third element. Similarly, right law, you are multiplying the first element with the addition of the second and the third element, in which first element multiplied with the second element added with first element multiplied with the third element. This is the right law. If a non-empty set with binary operation plus and dot, that is the multiplication, follows and satisfies all these conditions, then this is said to be a ring. That is the concept of ring. The next concept we are learning is types of ring. There are 5 types of ring. I'll explain one by one. The first one is the commutative ring. You have learned in the commutative law for all A comma B belongings to R, A plus B is equals to B plus A. This is the commutative law. Similarly, a ring to be a commutative ring, if R comma plus comma dot, which is a ring, is said to be commutative if A dot B is equals to B dot A. A multiplied with B is equals to B multiplied with A. Here A and B all belongs to the set R. This following conditions proves the ring to be a commutative ring. Now the second one is ring with unity. Unity represents 1. So the one element must belongs to the set R such that another element which belongs to R multiplied with 1 is equals to 1. It is equals to A. Sorry. Then this set R, a ring R, is said to be a unity. That is 1. Now the third type is the division ring or quotient ring. Both can be said. This is the important one. Here it states that if every non-zero element has a multiplicative inverse, then that ring is called as division ring or quotient ring. That is, if every non-zero element of a set of a ring R has a multiplicative inverse, then that ring is called as division ring or quotient ring. Example, if R is a ring and has 0, 1, 2 and 3 some elements like this, then every element of 1 must have non-zero element, that is, you should not consider 0 other than 0 non-zero elements, then 1 must have its own inverse, 2 must have its own inverse, 3 must have its own inverse. Then if this satisfies, then the ring is called as division ring or quotient ring. Now the fourth type is zero divisors. A ring to be a zero divisor, any two elements must not be equal to 0. That is, a not equal to 0, b not equal to 0. We should choose the elements such that a not equal to 0, b not equal to 0, and a dot b must be equal to 0. That is, uh, an example, z6 plus and dot. This is a ring which is defined as like z is equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is 6 elements for z6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 elements from 0 to 5. This is an integer. Here a is not equal to 0, we must consider. Let us consider a is equals to 2. And b must not equal to 0. So let us consider b as 3. So a into b, that is 2 into 3, is equals to 6, which is perfectly divisible by 6. So the remainder is 0, so it is completely divisible. So 0 divisor, this ring is a 0 divisor. Next, the fifth one is integral domain. What is an integral domain? Uh, the vice versa of zero divisor is an integral domain. With an easy saying, we can say it as vice versa of an integral, vice versa of a zero divisor is an integral domain. The same concepts carries here, but here if a is any element a is equals to 0 may be taken, or b is equals to 0, but a dot b must not be equal to 0, then it is called as an integral domain. An example, let me take z5 plus and dot is a ring where z5 is defined as 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Is it even 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? There are 5 elements over here. So let us consider a to be as 1 and b to be as 2. So a dot b is equals to 2, which is not perfectly divisible by the 5. So the remainder is not remainder is not 0. So there is some remainder, so it is not equal to 0. So it is. Now let us learn some problems which is very important here. The first problem states that the set of all integer is a commutative ring with unit element under usual addition and multiplication. They are saying the set of all integer. The set of all integer is a commutative ring. You have learned in the types of ring what is a commutative ring with unit element. That is unit ring under usual addition and multiplication. First, let's define what is the set of all integers defined as. Let z, which is the representation of integer, that is defined from 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 plus or minus 3, so on, with binary operations plus and dot. You know what is a ring? The definition of a ring, we have just defined what is a ring and the definition of the ring. That is, z is an integer defined as 0 plus or 1 plus or minus 2 plus or minus 3, so on, with a binary operation plus and dot. Now first one, r1, we have to prove that, to prove z and plus with is an abelian group. We have learned how to prove it as a ring. The first condition is we must prove that z is an additive abelian group. That is, z comma plus is an abelian group. We must prove that first closure law, that for all element a comma b belonging to integer z, a plus b also belongs to z. So closure law is proved. Next, associative law, for all a comma b comma c belonging to integer z, a plus of c is equals to a plus b of plus of c. So associative law is proved. Now identity, we must find the identity of the element. For all a belonging to z, a plus 0 is equals to 0 plus a, which is equal to a, where a is where 0 also belongs to integer z. So identity is proved. Next, fourth one is the inverse. for all a belonging to z and minus a belonging to z, a minus a plus of minus a or minus a plus a must be equal to 0. That is the identity element. So inverse law is proved. Next, the final one is the commutative law. That is a plus b is equals to b plus a for all a and b belongings to integer z. So commutative law is proved. We have proved closure law, associative law, identity law, inverse law and commutative law. So we can prove that z is an additive abelian group or z comma plus is a abelian group. The first condition is proved. Now let's see the second condition. In second condition we must prove that z comma dot is a semi group or z is a multiplicative semi group. We to prove a semi group we must prove only two conditions, that is the closure law, that is for all a comma b belongings to z, a dot b or a into b is also belongs to integer z. So closure law is proved. Second is associative law, that is for all a comma b comma c belongings to z integer, a dot b dot c is equals to a dot b dot c. So associative law is proved. Hence z is a multiplicative semi group or z comma dot is a semi group. Now let us solve the final condition or prove the final condition, that is the distributive law. In that two conditions are there, that is the left law. First one is the left law. Here it states for all a comma b comma c belongings to z integer z, a plus b dot c, that is first element addition of first two elements multiplied with the third element must be is equals to the first element multiplied with third element added with second element multiplied with the third element. This proves the left law. Second one, right law. For all a comma b belongings to c which belongs to the integer z, a first element multiplied with the addition of the second and the third element is equals to the first element multiplied with the second element added with the first element multiplied with the third element. This proves the right law. So we have proved the first, that is r, that is z comma plus is an abelian group. We proved z comma dot is a semi group. We proved the distributive law. So we can conclude that z or the integer is a ring. So what is the question here? State that set of all integer is a commutative ring with unit element under usual addition and multiplication. First they have given set of all integers a commutative ring. So we have proved that set of all integer is a ring. We must now prove it is a commutative ring. What is the definition of the commutative ring? Commutative ring states that for all a comma b belongings to set integer, a dot b must be equal to b dot a. So it easily proves that a dot b is equals to b dot a, because we have proved in the additive abelian group, that is commutative law, a plus b is equals to b plus a. So if you multiply any two integers, you would be getting the same integers if you multiply it in the reverse direction. So it is a commutative ring. So now we can prove that z is a ring and is a commutative ring. Now the third one is we must prove is with unit element, that is we must prove it as ring with unity. That is the second type of ring. We have defined integer as 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 plus or minus 3 so on. So you have an element called 1 here. So 1 belongs to z, that is not questionable. Now take an element a also belongs to z here. A can be any element 3, 2 or 5 or 25 or so on. So let's take an element which belongs to A. So anything multiplied with 1 or 1 multiplied with anything gives us the same thing, gives us the same element, such as let us take as minus 3 multiplied with 1 gives minus 3 itself. So you're getting the same element back. So ring with unity is satisfied. That means Z defined as the set of all integers is a ring in which it is a commutative ring under and unit element, that is ring with unity under usual addition and multiplication. So set of all integers a ring in which it is a commutative ring with unit element under usual addition and multiplication, because we have proved both addition and multiplication. This solves the first problem.